Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters challenge. We did one last night. We did Winchester Rye versus Sazerac Rye. I poured too much. I was trying to pour it back in the bottle. It was spilling everywhere. You'd think that Sazerac bottle would glug and pour slow, but it poured out. All right. But anyway, that's the past. This is the present. We have Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. Not a whole lot left in this bottle. This is a 375. I'll explain that in a minute, why I have that instead of a 750. Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. No age statement, so we know it's aged at least 4 years. Trying to get some of this adhesive off here, left over from the tag. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. 53% rye. They say that's a pre-prohibition style. 45.2% alcohol, so 90.4 proof. Proprietary batch. Well, naturally, they're all proprietary batches. They're owned by the company, the proprietorship. But okay, fine. It says established 1812, historic distillery. But I know Woodford Reserve, the brand of whiskey, didn't get on the market till 1996. Versailles, Kentucky. They might pronounce it Versailles up there. I don't know. Real wooden cap. It's tight. Real cork. I just moisturized the cork. A real chunk of cork. It's not that pressed together cork. It's a real chunk of cork. So now that's a better pour. Not too much. Put this back. Oh, yeah. I'll get back to the story in just a moment. Okay, so Winchester, not a real cork. Real wooden cap, but a rubber cork, neoprene. It's that spongy rubber type substance they use in sneakers or tennis shoes, as people call them, shoe soles. Because it's firm and spongy. All right. Neoprene from DuPont. Winchester Kentucky Rye Whiskies. Not straight rye, it's just standard rye. Age 1 year. That's why it's not straight rye. Straight rye has to be at least 2 years. No ratio given. We don't know what percentage it is. We know it's at least 51% rye. That much we do know. But beyond that, we don't know. And it's from O.Z. Tyler Distillery. But it's renamed Green River Distillery, so they're using the old name. It was opened in 2015, but the man died. O.Z. Tyler died, and then the people that took it over renamed it Green River Distillery. And they produced their own bourbon, Green River Bourbon, and this too. But that's not. They don't have this on their website for whatever reason. Winchester. No real shock, because a lot of companies produce products that they don't bother putting on their website. I have one in the cabinet that I bought last week. You can find it in Louisiana now. I don't know about other states. But I can get 375s, 750s, glass, 1,750 plastic. Evan Williams green label, charcoal filtered, sour mash, 80 proof. You know, yep. But look on the website, you won't see it as though it does not exist. But we know it exists by the virtue of the fact that I have some and I bought some and I know where to find it. Okay. Well, the Woodford Reserve is much darker. It's like a copper, and the Winchester is gold. Secondly, got to even it out. Secondly, okay. Normally, I do not buy 375 milliliter bottles. They just don't serve my purposes. But sometimes I do buy them. And here's a time when I did. We were at Savannah Discount, legendary liquor store in Louisiana. Beer, wine, and liquor. Legendary store. In Marrero on Louisiana Highway 45 northbound. If you want to get exact. They had these bottles for $6.99. So that's $13.98 for a 750 milliliter amount of Woodford Reserve Rye. Now I'm going to tell you right now that's a lot cheaper than normal. Now Winchester was $19.99. The price is going up to $24.99. Excuse me. The price is going up $5 in a year. That's crazy. It's sickening, really. Let's see here. Total Wine's got a great website, but it's a slow load. It loads up real slow. Woodford. It's like Google Chat or Google Workplace. It's like, does it ever load up? And you can't say, oh, your computer's low. No, because a lot of websites load up in seconds. Just be like Walmart. It's there. It's done. Walmart.com. Instantaneous. So it's not me. It's them. Well, regular Woodford Reserve is $28.99, and I enjoyed my bottle of it. Thank you, Sonia. She gave me almost an entire full bottle because she stopped drinking. And she said, well, I don't want to waste it. You could have it. She gave me Blanton's, of all things, Blanton's and Woodford Reserve. So she used to buy that to make men juleps for the Kentucky Derby. I said, well, you deal in high quality. No Evan Williams for her. Okay, $28.99. Let's see, the Woodford Reserve Barrel Select, $66.99. Yee. Man. Barrel Select. I guess that's what I have because, oh no, never mind. I don't have that. Woodford Reserve Rye, $30.99, so $31. But I got it for $13.98. What do they say about Woodford Reserve Rye whiskey? Uses a pre-prohibition style ratio of 53% rye. Spice and tobacco dominant note. Sweet floral, sweet aromatics. Nice sweetness, overall balance. Yeah. Taste and notes. Rich honey appearance. I said copper. 90.4 proof. Already put that down. Spicy with distinct notes of rye, black pepper, cedar, and cassia bark. I've never had cassia bark. I mean, I never smelled it. Sweetened with a dusting of marzipan, hints of pear, apple, and almond dance in its depths. Sure. Taste, clove, rye, mint, molasses, sorghum, and honey mingled together with hints of apple and malt. Long and sweetly spiced finish. Yeah, I never can detect all of that stuff. You know what I mean? No, I mean, grain, malt and rye. That's the grains, malt and rye. So we got barley malt, 47%, rye, 53%. Okay. Yeah. So wood, fruit, and floral, spice, sweet aromatics. Okay. All right. Okay. No corn. Huh. Well, okay. Doesn't matter. It's not required to have corn, or it's not required not to have corn. Gold medal at San Francisco World Spirits Competition of 2020 and 2016. And a bunch of other awards. Yes. Let me see something about the, I tried the double oak once and I loved it. I never bought it though. Just saying malt and rye. Well, it's got to have corn. I'm talking about the Woodford Reserve because it has to be at least 51% corn. So I don't get that. I don't know what they're talking about. Well, let's forget all that. All right. All we know is 53% rye. Does it have corn in it? Guess. Malted barley, I guess. I don't know. Panthers Rules says, you, Bubba. Same to you. Now, so Winchester, $24.99. Woodford Reserve, $30.99. So $6 difference. Is it going to be $6 better? Well, you would assume it would be. It's aged at least 4 years. Winchester only 1 year. It's a little higher proof. Not enough to make a difference, I guess. 45.2% alcohol versus 45. That's not much. Okay. But you never know. Until you do that. Well, that's the whole purpose of the blind taste test, right? The blind taste test. You don't know until you do it. Now, I see a lot of taste challenges on the internet. Now, Howard Tigner, he does this Fridays Are For You. He started doing the blind. He does the blind taste challenges. So that takes out the bias factor, intentional or otherwise. But I see a lot of people, they just looking at the cans. Oh, this is Coors. This is what was it? It's a bad idea to do that. 45% alcohol is 90 proof. Correct. You can read about proofing. It's an old quality government quality assurance thing. It was to prove that it was real. To prove it. It had something to do with burning alcohol. All right. And that was the proof that it was true. You used to have a lot of dangerous products in the 1800s on the market. Illicit. They still have that today, like in Africa. People say, oh, yeah, I'm going to make you a deal for the wedding party. I got this booze in the back of my truck. And they get it for like 20% of the normal price. And then you find half the people at the wedding drop dead, at the reception. Well, yeah, because, that's why you shouldn't buy that. It's bad enough you have problems with tainted legal products sometimes, and they have recalls and everything. But no, you're going to buy something from somebody's truck. And then I deal with all these cool people on the internet. They're cool. They're hip, man. In all our little groups. Smoking their drugs, That's their cool thing, They want to show off. Yeah, smoking my drugs. My plant. I don't care what people do. That I'm libertarian, but it's like you bought this stuff from Easy Andy. You don't know what he's putting in it. And the same people, I would never try some, like I would never drink some homebrew. I don't know what's in that homebrew, but then you'll smoke it. Okay, good. So, yeah, great. But it's your business, but it's a risky business. I don't know. I do know that they seem compelled to let everybody know about it. That's the thing I notice. It's like you got, I know people that drink beer, like including myself, right? But it's like they don't feel compelled to go telling everybody, like, oh yeah, I drink a beer, baby, yeah, 420 beer. But this other thing, it's like this zealous, almost like zealots. And that probably is related to the psychedelic effects of the product, because it's a psychedelic, which doesn't change the way you feel. It's not a mood altering. Now, a lot of people are not really understanding it's not mood altering. Doesn't get you pepped up or down. Not a upper or a downer. It's a mind altering. That's a better term. Psychedelic changes the way you think. See. And then you might start thinking paranoid. Let's just say, how you call paranoid, paranoid. So you got to let everybody know, because you figuring they thinking about me, because they don't use this, so they're thinking things about me. But in reality, they probably don't even care. It's like, I don't care what you do, but you got to let them know, because you think they're thinking about you. All right, taste time. Oh, I already did that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyway, the chimes. Let's look at the comments. Baja Trading Limited, morning from Trinidad. Oh, good morning to you in Trinidad and Tobago, one of the Commonwealth republics. Panthers rule says 45 alcohol by volume, like the Crown Black. I love Crown Black, but it's a murder if you don't watch it. Oh, yeah, I mean, Crown, I have a bottle of Crown Royal Black, and it's strong. I mean, these 90 proofs not really my game, Yeah, I like tainted food. I've never done it, but smoking grass isn't the worst thing in the world, I guess. I didn't say it was the worst thing in the world. I never even implied that. But over the years, I have been like pressured by people, like telling you need to do this. I was like, I don't need to do anything except, eat food, sleep. Those are primary needs. But if I'm not doing it, they get paranoid because I'm not. It's like they don't feel comfortable around people that's not doing it. You get paranoid. Like I say, paranoid. Paranoid. All right. I got in a big argument with one guy who's a Facebook friend of mine. I used to work with him, but he's real touchy. People that's touchy like that, like they fly off the handle real fast, get insulted real easy. Just like peculiar, This one is kind of flat tasting, and what I'll explain in a minute. He likes to mess with people, but he don't like people to mess with him. People like that, they like to go around kidding with everybody, giving them a hard time. But if you flip the script on them, they get crazy. They get mad, angry. It's not what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. They don't. But I don't play that kind of game. But anyway, he was flaming my Facebook post, and it was really not relative to what I was saying. It was like not relevant. And he was saying, well, marijuana is the same as alcohol. I said, is it? I said, I don't believe so. Be like saying cream cheese is the same as peanut butter. I mean, they're food items, but they're not the same thing. They're creamy. unless you get the crunchy peanut butter. All right, but he just kept getting angrier and angrier, and I just wasn't going to back down for niceties. I wasn't being ugly to him, but I wasn't going to back down. And he kept going on, and I said, let me make it simple for you. Boy, then he got mad when I said that. Let me make it simple for you, which apparently was necessary. And then when I went to his house later that week, he was saying, you're going to make stuff simple for me, huh? I had to laugh. I could tell he was angry. I said, well, if people insist on making objectively wrong statements, yeah, I have to, because it wasn't getting through. I was trying to tell him, I said, alcohol is a depressant and marijuana is a psychedelic. And he just kept saying, they're the same, they're the same. I said, I don't know what, and you're an educated person, you know, I shouldn't have to explain this to you. I think I know why he was saying that. And I think you know why he was saying that. And I think we both know why he was like paranoid about it. But nonetheless, I wasn't going to back down. All right. Well, the flavor on these two is quite similar. Woodford Reserve, very well known, very well respected, popular product, you know. Winchester, not well known. You can't say it's not well respected because it's not even known. I can't say it's disrespected. It's like no one can get it. Well, I mean, practically no one can get it. So, but you know, you would regard it low. I did too. You know, I say 1 year when I looked at that bottle, I said 1 year. Then I would regret buying it. I hadn't even tried it yet. I already regretted it. You know, but the proof's in the application, right? So here we are applying. We're doing the process. So what does the process tell us? I'm not finding much difference. They seem to be about 90 proof. You get that kind of, there's a feeling I get when I look to the west, you know, and so I get that kind of experiential thing with the 90 proof versus 80 proof. But as far as flavor, I wouldn't say either one's jumping out the box, you know, jumping up and down full of flavor. Let's try to break it down a little bit more. Yeah, just spicy, minty rye, kind of low profile taste, kind of, if you want to call it dull. I wouldn't necessarily argue with that. Although I wouldn't describe it as dull. But like I said, I wouldn't necessarily argue against that either. Okay, over here. Okay. You see, sometimes you got to taste them 2-3 times. This is starting to bring out some things. Candy like caramel candy. What brand? I don't know. And then the minty. And then there's the wood. There's the wood, the oak. It's not strong. And it's not pronounced. But it's there. There's a level of wood that you don't get in the Winchester. And I think that's because the Winchester just doesn't have enough aging to take on that oak character. And like I said, this is not a real heavy oak character, but it's there. So I think this is the Woodford Reserve. Now, is it $6 better? Well, that's questionable. That's questionable. That's questionable. That's questionable. So I don't know if I'd pay $6 more. Just last year. No, not last year. Just in May. What am I saying? When I went to Texas in May, I drove back. On the way back, I stopped at Total Wine in Baton Rouge because they didn't have it here in stock. But I said, what if, when I left the day before, they had it. So I said, watch me come here and they don't have it. But it was right off the interstate, so it wasn't really, I didn't have to go out of my way. So and they had it. It was Jim Beam Rye. Jim Beam Rye for $17.99. Now, why would I pay $24.99? Or why would I pay $30.99 for rye whiskey when I could get Jim Beam Rye for $17.99? At least in May I could. With this JB inflation, you don't know. Well, the answer is very easy. I would not do it. Okay? Is Woodford Reserve Rye and Winchester Rye better than Jim Beam? I'm not too sure about that. From my memory, from my recollection, I don't recall it being any better. I thought Jim Beam Rye was dang good. So it just goes to show you, you could pay a lot. Go ahead, pay a lot. It's your money, not mine. Now, if I'm subsidizing it, we got a problem. But pay a lot, but you may not really get anything better. Now, I mean, you got haters out there. They'll say, oh, Jim Beam Rye, that's the worst. That stuff's awful. That's terrible. Oh, yeah, this, that, the other thing. Oh, yeah. And I'm saying, come on, are you kidding me? You're probably the same guy that runs around talking about how horrible Budweiser is. Oh, Budweiser, I would never drink that. It's the worst. It's terrible. It may be some things, but it ain't worse. It ain't the worst, and it's not terrible. You say, but didn't you just say you could get old Overholt Rye for $15.99 at Walmart? I did say that. $15.99, or I could buy Woodford Reserve for $30.99. Is it really better? That's debatable. It's higher proof. If you got to have, you say, I got to have the high alcohol. Yeah, you might want to get some counseling, or just do it yourself. DIY or DIY. I'm sorry, DIY. Do it yourself. DIY. You could just get on your own behavior modification plan if you maybe think you need the 90 proof. You don't need 90 proof. You want it, but you don't need it. Okay. Of course, now if you've got we could talk about if you've got a physical addiction on it. We could talk about all that. But anyway, later. But no, honestly, I've tried a lot of ryes at this point. They're all good. I hadn't had a bad one yet. Probably don't have a bad one on the market. They probably don't exist. It's like bad bourbon. Find one. Where are they? I haven't seen one. You have? I haven't. Now, you might say, come on now. You've tasted so many bourbons at this point. There's a few bad ones. What are they? No, I haven't. No, I haven't tasted a bad bourbon. No way. You say, what about scotch? I know you tasted some bad scotch. No, I've tasted some cheap scotch, but I never tasted bad scotch. You see, even the cheap scotch was good. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad. Okay. No. See, a lot of times people say they're bad, but they really just maybe kind of bland. But they're not bad, like, oh, that's so bad. No. Nah. So no, I would just go with I would just go with old Overholt myself. But then, of course, why not? I'd rather 80 proof. I done told you that. But it's 86 now, 86 proof. Yeah. Oh, that's a good mid-range. It's a good balancing act. 43% alcohol. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, now the comments. I never done it, but oh yeah, we're talking about that. Drugs. Okay, honestly hope Winchester wins, but I doubt it. Oh, don't doubt it. I taste the banana pudding in Jack Daniels and hard candy in Jim Beam. That's funny. I do pick up rock candy. A lot of times when I drink bourbon, I taste rock candy. And candy corn. I don't know if I'm right or not. Yeah, you're probably right. I haven't had the Beam Rye. Oh, it's good. It's really nice. Holy crap. I just tried Rebel whiskey for the first time recently. It was okay. Not bad for the price. Yeah, Rebel Yell. It used to be Rebel Yell, but, these PC nitwits, and they got a lot of them out there, decided in 2019, yeah, we're gonna call it Rebel instead of Rebel, yeah, because some people are getting angry. Yeah. Weak minds sometimes work for big companies. Okay, I don't go above 90 proof. Yeah, I try to avoid it myself. All right, I mean, I've had barrel proof products, but I didn't like them. Okay, so I say this is the Winchester. I've been to Winchester, Virginia. I stayed at a hotel there one time. I think it was Super 8. What it really wasn't super. Wasn't horrible, but I don't recall it being super. Maybe super cheap. Okay, super adequate. All right, anyway. Winchester. Ah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I did it. I did it. No, what gave it away? I'll tell you what gave it away. Its blandness gave it away. And I don't mean it's bad, like, oh, yeah, oh, I'm so horrified. It's bland. What'd you think it was going to be for $19.99? Like, awesomely great? Well, yeah, but that's a smart aleck answer I'm giving because, like I just now told you, the Jim Beam rye was $17.99, and that's a dynamite product. I think it's going to beat Winchester. Well, we won't know till we do the challenge. But that's my prediction. Now, I thought Woodford Reserve was going to killer-rate it. I just thought it was going to be a blowout, a massacre, but it hasn't been. Oh, it's better. Don't know about $6 better, but yeah, it's a better product. So if you gave me the choice, what would I rather have? Clearly, I'd rather have the Woodford Reserve. But then when it comes to regular bourbon, I'd rather have Woodford Reserve most times. You see, it's a good product. And that double oaked, and I mean, we don't even need to talk about it. Everybody knows Woodford Reserve is great. Oh yeah, I knew it was called Rebel Yell before. There's a famous roller coaster at King's Dominion in Virginia called the Rebel Yell. Oh, still they didn't change it to like social justice. It's probably called social justice now. Oh, my lungs are clearing up, but they're not quite clear. All right, so Woodford Reserve wins, but I'm not quite sure it really is worth $30.99. That's a stretch. But it's definitely worth the $13.98 that I paid, $13.98, full price, full amount, 750 milliliters. Crazy, right? True story though. HC says, laughing my anatomy off. Yeah, sensitivity, society, cancel culture is a shame. I agree. Yeah, but it's rooted in communism and mind control, and it goes back to July 14th, 1789. So these people are out there trying to control your mind and control your life. And actually, if they can't do that, they want to take your life. So you have to be ready to battle these people. I'm a 33-year-old millennial, so my generation is arguably part of it, but I'm not. It is, your generation is part of it, but they've been conditioned to be part of it. They were raised by the cadres, you see, so their only exposure was that type of conspiratorial content, you see. Yeah, like that. I won't say the word, but and I was born in the 1960s, so that was already in play. I mean, it was already happening. It wasn't like it's something new. And my parents were born in the 1940s, and in fact, it was already happening then. So we got to go back to. It's been going on openly since July 14th, 1789. July 14th, 1789. Been openly going on. So it's overt and covert, concurrent. You know what I'm saying? It's a side-by-side thing, overt and covert, but run by the same outfit. But anyway, so thanks for watching. And Woodford Reserve, the clear and present winner. And then for Wednesday, We've got Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye. That'll be a very interesting battle, I think. So I hope y'all enjoy watching it. See you later. See you later, crocodile.